Hey guys, it's Paul, combat veteran, MMA fighter, YouTuber. Today we are checking out another fan request, that is to do some gameplay from Escape from Tarkov. Now, specifically, I am looking at Gus Workman's Escape from Tarkov 45-minute raid, 20 kills. So definitely check out the original video below. He seems like a good guy. Definitely give him a subscribe. And of course, if you have ever been headshotted by a scav wielding a Taz, hit subscribe. And of course, hit like on the video to tell the YouTube algorithm that I am not making clickbait. I'm a new channel. I need all the subs, likes, and comments I can get. So I welcome all of it. Okay, having done that, let's check out some Escape from Tarkov gameplay. Now, we're going to be skipping around a little bit because, this is 45 minutes long and, I'm sure you guys got to eat dinner or whatever. But let's get into it. Alright, so I kind of know the premise of Tarkov generally. Entering a raid, looking for stuff, extracting. I've played enough games to know that. Alright, this dude's PC so much better than mine. Okay, let's pause it for a second, back it up, take a look at this guy's gear. What is he running? Okay, he has nothing. He has a backpack, he has tactical sport headphones, and a looks like a Makarov pistol. Okay, so I actually owned a Makarov when I was in the army. Just the army didn't give it to me. I just bought it because I love old stuff. The Makarov's not that bad a pistol, actually. It shoots this obscure 9x18 round that's not really easy to find here in the United States. And you can also see what's interesting. He has a Russian military issue rucksack, and their highest capacity issue rucksack, actually. The Russians rolled out this new soldier equipment in, I think probably the 2012, maybe 2010 era, kind of to keep up with the United States. And this was their largest tier of rucksack. So if I was going to go into a raid, would definitely want some field medical kits. He's got a lot. 3 magazines, probably fine. Splint. Yeah, I think a real IFAK actually has a splint in it. Of course, some water, definitely a right call, and of course, a backpack to bring out everything you need. If I had body armor, I would be wearing that. I imagine he's just going for a loot and scoot type of raid. Alright, he's doing good. He's checking his corners, So what's interesting is when you're a solo person, right, doing these sort of things, it's a different protocol in terms of clearing rooms, in terms of security, and it looks a lot more like what he's doing, being very deliberate. They call it pieing a door, when you don't enter a room, but you check it by sort of looking through the doorway at different angles. And as your line of sight changes, you can see the majority of a given room. And that's probably a safer bet to clear a room than trying to enter it on your own, breach and clear it. Because one person's never going to be able to dominate a room, right? If there's one person in that room, then you're at parity. And if there's more than one, you're outnumbered. So it's not a great idea to run into a fight where you can only be equal or less than the attacking troops. Alright, let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's get this guy outside. Yeah, okay, he's outside. Alright, stealing a can of food. Good call. what's interesting is canned food is one of the earliest types of like preserved foods, and it's great for uh, military rations because it just lasts so very very long. I mean, there's you can go on YouTube and see there's videos of people eating canned food from like the 60s and 70s. So it's a great way to preserve it as long as you can it properly and you don't let the can corrode. What's interesting is that modern U.S. military rations do the same basic process as canning, but instead of using aluminum tins, they use a special type of reinforced plastic. The process is called retouring, and so that's what stores U.S. military rations today. Okay, I really appreciate this. The way that Tarkov sort of forces you to inspect items if you want to know what they are, but it also gives you the option to just toss them in your bag and go. In the real world, of course, you're not going to know what everything is, but you can always just grab and go or take a closer look at things when you're looking for stuff. I'm thinking I was never looting items, but when you're looking for intelligence, when you're trying to look for certain particular evidence of things, I'm thinking, we once were at the scene where a firefight took place, and we were trying to figure out, okay, who had shot here, who was fighting, how many forces did they have, and so we were able to, stop. We took a lot of time, but we looked at bullet casings, we recorded the manufacturer and the source of the bullets and their size, and from that we were able to sort of piece together who we thought was involved and what weapon systems they had. But that sort of thing takes time. Alright, let's skip ahead a little bit. Okay, too far. Alright. Okay, so he looks like he's picked up a weapon and he can see a gunfight happening across the hall. Again, this is a good example of being prudent in combat. You're always going to want to get as much information as you can before you go into any sort of battle or hostile area. Gotta say, I know this is Tarkov, but man, if you hear bullets ricocheting off of things, poof, you are way too close to that firefight. Like, you gotta get out or get into a defensive combat posture. Because, if bullets are bouncing off of things and you're digging through your pack, you better have a really good reason. But his reason is he's probably looking to see if he has rounds for his submachine gun. That's a good reason. Okay, all right. This has gone. This has gone. As we sometimes call this. Well, I'm not going to repeat it. This is going badly. But let's see. Let's see if we can kill these three dudes. One's down, but it looks like he's about to get murked right here. Alright, not sure how he survived that. That dude definitely was shooting directly at him. But I will also say this. In Tarkov lore and in reality, it's not actually that it's pretty hard to hit someone, even at close range, right? It's pretty classic to hear about, shootings in inner cities where 15, 16, 17s shots are fired, and you have one round hit, even when the parties are right next to one another. The adrenaline rush is huge. A lot of people don't even want to look down the sights. They freak out. So I guess it's not unrealistic to think that, he could have had all his shots connect, and all these other folks could have whiffed them. Alright, he's looting his buddies. Or, not his buddies, his enemies. What did we talk about? Don't be checking your stuff if the enemy's that close to you. He shot at you. He knows you're in that room, and you're checking your stuff. Also, took a shotgun blast to the chest and just shook it off. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm obviously, I know Tarkov's a game, and it wouldn't be very fun if you died from every single wound. But there is no self-administered first aid for any sort of stomach puncture, abdomen puncturing injury that will get you up and back and going. At best, sometimes you can do what's called, oh my gosh, it relieves tension pneumothorax when there's an air pocket that sort of deflates your lung. There's a way to reseal the lung and get you back in the fight. Famous scene in Three Kings where they do it. Guy gets a lung puncture, needs attention, has this like valve. Same basic concept. And yeah, so you can have that. I'm trying to think if there's any others. Not really. I mean, it's like maybe quick clot it, but basically it's put pressure on it and get that person to medical care within an hour. We call it actually the golden hour, right? If you can get someone alive to a trauma center within 60 minutes, their chances of survival increase like exponentially. And so, yeah, if this was like a real situation, that person's first priority would suddenly become, how do I get to a surgical center that can help me? Alright, he's looting these guys more. He's got a scav vest. Ah, there you go. Okay, he's picked up, alright, Russian military issue helmet, right? Also part of their Ratnik system. And it looks like he has body armor. It's probably looks like it could be level 3 or level 2. It's got the spalling plates here, which to me says, well, I don't know. It's tough to say, right? Because modern body armor has the Kevlar here to catch if you catch a round in your plates, and that round will shatter and travel up across the plate. But so if you have a little Kevlar flap right here, right, it'll come up and it'll get caught in the Kevlar and it won't, jam you in the head. But so did U.S. military flak vests back in the Vietnam War. They look exactly like that. So, again, any protection is going to be good protection. And at the very least, that should be keeping him somewhat safer from shotgun blasts and pistol rounds. And you see that vest? That vest looks like another piece of the Ratnik system, right? And they all have names like this. 6SH112, 6B47. That's some sort of Russian military nomenclature that I couldn't tell you what it means. Alright, jumping ahead. Okay, see, now he's looking at one of the other guys he killed, and they have a serious rig, right? They've got their plate carrier. That's going to stop probably at least small arms assault rifle rounds, 5.56, 7.62, potentially something bigger, depending on the exact plates that are in it. And you can see, of course, it's a high-end, very modern. It's got the molly webbing, and the users put a bunch of gear pouches on it. So yeah, that's going to be a lot more effective than his potentially somewhat more effective and somewhat leaner and easier to run than the Russian military issue vest. Okay, so in this depiction, it says that gear is running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 mag pouches. Yeah, that's probably believable. I could see you getting 15 mags in there. That's seven 2 mag pouches. Yeah, you may be able to pull it off, especially if you have the gear belt in the back where you can do like a mag dump, or have a little like butt pack like the U.S. military had in the M1961. Yeah, I think that's sort of feasible. Again, no, it's a game. The M1As are super highly demanded rifles here in the US. It's like $2,000 to get your hands on an M1A. So to see it in a Russian war zone is probably extremely unlikely. But again, I get it. It's Tarkov. You want to have a bunch of guns you can play. Who doesn't love that? Okay, let's skip ahead a little. Let's take him halfway through the raid. How's he doing now? Wow, he stepped it up quite a bit. All right, he's running the same plate carrier. Now he has the old school 1968 Russian infantry helmet. That's what you would have seen Russian soldiers in Afghanistan in the 80s and early 90s wearing. He's running an M4A1 with a silencer. That's what I carried in Afghanistan, though no silencer. M4A1's good, solid, reliable combat rifle. Looks like an M1A set up as a sniper rifle. It even has that fancy sniper stock and the lifted portion for your cheek. And yeah, his backpack is all full of goodies. Okay, he's doing well. Let's see how things go from here. Oh, and it's okay. He's even got the drum mag. All right, well that's a nice touch. Though here's the thing, the whole time I've played Tarkov, I never had a weapon jam. But especially those drum mags, the reason the U.S. doesn't use them is because they're really prone to jamming up, right? You're asking a lot. It's a lot of mechanical motion to rotate these rounds through and up, especially via a spring. It's just mechanically pretty tough to do. And so, it's also pretty heavy and bulky. But again, I've never seen a gun jam in Tarkov. But that's a real problem in the real world, right? Is having your gun sort of fail on you. That's one of the reasons why certain classes, SWAT team members and SF guys and SEALs, they train to go to their secondary weapon. Not when their weapon's out, though that can happen, but when you pull the trigger and nothing happens, right? You can try to fix your jam. They call it like emergency actions or something, or remedial action, I think. Remedial action drills, right? You can check, slam it, right, rechamber it, but in a building clearing, in an urban firefight, when you have don't even have a second, you got to be trained to just draw your secondary weapon and engage with that, right? Not miss a beat. So anyway, jamming, serious problem, and a serious problem with drum mags. I know it's Tarkov, but man, nothing is tactically less sound than trying to loot like cans of beef stew while a high intensity firefight is going on around you. The secret's clear. Wait until people leave, or just find somewhere else to loot, man. But I get it. Tarkov's all about risking your life to get, army crackers and beef stew. Okay, respect him clearing the corners, peeking the corners a little bit, right? That's a good way to do it. There's no clear protocol for this sort of thing, because it's hard. As one person, right? One person is just so ineffective because you can only look down one direction at a time, right? You can't hear or you can't see what's going on behind you. You can't see what's going on your peripheries, right? Human beings are predators. We got two eyes. They face forward, but that's a real problem when you need to maintain security around 360 degrees of threat. Okay, tactically questionable call is yelling before shooting. I know in the game that's a thing scavs do, but in the real world, do not yell at someone. If you know that they're hostile, just shoot them. If you're not sure that they're hostile, like try to talk to them, but then don't shoot them until they show hostile intent. There's also something to be said for discretion, right? If this is a guy with a shotgun and you see someone with a plate carrier and a silenced M4, maybe you just should let them go on their way. But again, wouldn't be Tarkov if you didn't get in gunfights with scavs. Alright, so his leg is blacked out. I guess that means he's got some sort of injury that's pretty much crippled his leg. And he's doing field surgery. Again, just thinking about it, it's so easy to screw up your leg, like, permanently. You know, to know what a bullet can do is so complicated, right? Did it break the bone? Did it graze it? Has it severed an artery? Is it through your thigh? Has it done nerve damage? It's such a complex system that even the best doctors and field medics rely on x-rays and CAT scans to discern what has happened, right? Discerning what has been damaged is in a lot of ways harder than discerning what to do about the damage. So the idea that a person can knock out a little bit of chip, snip, snip, and get that leg up and running is, again, a gameism. Guess the forceps are for pulling out a bullet. Yeah, here's the other thing. If you ever get like a stab wound or something stuck in your body, right? The person you want to remove that is a surgeon after they've done the imagery. What you're trained to do is actually just to tape right over it, right? And leave it in place because it may actually make bleeding worse. It may actually, the foreign object may be keeping pressure on like an internal artery or another essential part of your body. And when you pull it out, you may actually increase the amount of internal bleeding. Can't decide which of his 6 IFAKs to use. Nothing's eerie. You hear footsteps, but you can't find where it's coming from. You know somebody's in there. Yeah, that's always a kind of freak out session. Again, being stuck in the middle of this intense firefight by yourself would, in real life, be absolutely fucking terrifying. Your better bet, honestly, if you really don't know who's fighting and whose side they're on, you're almost better off ditching your stuff so you don't look like a combatant. And again, I don't know if that would really help, but, I mean, decked out like that, you're going to look to both sides like you're highly shootable. Alright, let's zip this ahead. Extract. it's been just an insane volume of non-stop shit. Yeah, also things that aren't realistic. Standing in the open, you get shot at. You probably are shot, and yet you continue to just kind of mull around. Like, okay, almost everybody, trained or not, is going to try to take off running and get to cover. Alright, let's see this dude. Extract. Yeah, hiding in an armored vehicle while terrified of the intense gunfight around you, that's realistic. That if I knew that vehicle was going to leave, that might be my strategy, actually. See, and he seems to have figured out the exact problem of being one person. He has to cover 2 angles plus all the windows, and that's hard to do when you are, again, one person, one field of vision. Even if he had 2 or 3 people, right? This is why the U.S. military fights as fire teams, right? 3 to 5 people. They can actually provide a comprehensive security for one another, right? And just be so much more operative than a single person, no matter how skilled they are. All right, and that sort of does it for him. Let's see his end of raid stats. Whoo, buddy, that is a non-trivial number of kills. Wow, that's a lot of scavs. Okay, so he killed all scavs, right? He avoided all his fights with his PMCs. Again, kind of a logical call, if you ask me. Avoiding the dangerous, most lethal opponents when you're, again, looting for something like cans of beef and, medicine is probably the wise decision. Alright, guys. Okay, so that is going to do it for Escape from Tarkov gameplay review. I mean, I like it. I think it obviously does make a real commitment to realism relative to games like Call of Duty, right, where you can just sort of take a bullet, get behind cover, wait 30 seconds, and then get back in the fight. At least having to different wounds impact your mobility and your body's functionality differently is realistic. I think the everyone is a perfect field surgeon if they have the right equipment. Kind of a gameism. Again, I get it. You got to make it fun and realistic. You got to make it fun for people. But again, forcing folks to make those choices in terms of engagements is something that I think is really realistic. So that was a lot of fun. Let me know in the comments below if there's other games or gameplay videos that you want to see me check out, right? There's a ton of Tarkov gameplay videos, and some of them look like a lot of fun, and I'll check out whatever one you guys are recommending. And of course, hit like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel because I'm new and I need all the subscribers I can get. And until next time, I will see you guys later.